Hi, I'm Joshua Farley.
And I'm Marcus Soto.
And this is Inside Our Industry, where we share weekly insights on everything to do with the electric and solar industry, contracting, and best practices. All right, let's talk about vehicles. God damn, like these fucking guys, some of these guys, I don't know about you, but if you're good at what you do, if you're a good tradesman, if you're good with your hands and you're running service and you have a truck and you're fucking awesome in the field, your truck is a nightmare. It's a fucking mess. What is it about? Like mine, I was guilty. Shit, mine was like piled up of shit on shit on shit.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Just tons of stuff, right? Just tons of stuff, and it doesn't typically seem to be organized very well. But I can tell you that they usually know where stuff is. It looks like a disaster typically, right?
Most of the time, yeah.
Most of the time, yeah. But they usually know where the stuff that they need is somewhere in that truck. I don't know. I kept mine organized. So I kind of knew where stuff was, right? So it'd go faster.
I think you could have learned something. You could have got more experience in understanding parts if you had to filter through parts as you were looking.
Constantly,
will this work for what I need? Will this work? Will this work? What's gonna work for the problem I'm facing right now?
Right.
I mean, when I was running and I had an apprentice, I'd be like, hey, go get me a half-inch one hole or a half-inch. I need a half-inch mini.
Right.
They're underneath the green roll MC
Yep.
in the milk crate, not the break with the next to the breakers, under the box of whatever.
Right.
Like I knew exactly where it was.
I remember.
But then it took him forever to figure out what I was talking about because he didn't know what
So we were using vans.
He didn't know what a breaker was.
We were using vans for a little bit, right?
Oh yeah, the little sprinters.
Yeah, and that was even a little bit harder to organize some things, and your anything extra that needed to be put in there kind of made it look like a mess a little bit.
Right.
And I remember one of our best technicians. I was looking for a 1-inch rigid coupling, right?
Yep.
And I was like, oh, we don't have any in the shop. I said something about it. He was like, oh, I think I have one in the van. I was like, okay. I walked out there with him, opened the van, and there's like stuff from the last week's worth of jobs.
Just falling out.
Just in the van, yeah. Right? And he like reaches in to just all of it, right? And does a little bit of this. And pulls out a 1-inch rigid coupling. And it's like, here. It's like, what is happening right now? Like,
oh man.
But I got my coupling.
Speaking of vans, so we tried. We still have a couple of those little ProMaster City vans because they were cheap. You can get them out the door for $20,000 brand new versus some of the older trucks we had.
Yeah.
So we tried those, and then it really fucked with the guys' egos. Like you couldn't. Like some of these guys didn't want to be seen in the little tiny van. They thought that if people were to see them in a little van, they wouldn't get the gravitas or the respect of being a real worker, right? In this little tiny van. And I get it. I want to drive the big trucks. We moved on to the bigger trucks now because of the work we're doing and we need to hold more stuff. But at the time, it was affordable. I mean, I challenged my number one tech at the time, and I'm like, listen, I'm gonna put you in it, and you just give me feedback. Like, we're gonna buy this one, I'm gonna put you in it, and if you don't like it, all I'll do is I'll fucking drive it to the networking meetings, or I'll have the sales guy drive it, and we'll fill it with fucking shirts and hats. I don't care what it is, like it's fucking cheap, right? So he drove it, and I would say it was probably a couple weeks later, he came into my office and you could tell he just looked defeated. I'm like, here it goes. Now I got to go out and spend $80,000 on a truck. And he looked at me and goes, it works. It holds the shit I need, and I did the jobs. Yeah. And he was so upset. Right. It was just like, now I'm this guy, like a fucking soccer mom, driving down the road in this little minivan or whatever. And they're great. They're great for running service calls. Like they're just little tooting around the valley, running some residential service calls.
And it's a big billboard. Like,
Huge
it's a van,
billboard.
so it's just a big billboard.
Oh yeah, if you got a fleet, you need to have your fucking letters on that shit. Like you're missing out on advertisement everywhere you sit that truck.
And your ROC number needs to be on it.
Oh, that's the rules, yeah, for sure. I used to like take pictures of guys out there working in the field, like, because my neighbors there's trucks at their house. They're all unmarked. I don't know what the fuck my neighbors are doing. Like,
Right.
I need some work done at my house, and you guys are missing out. And you probably don't want to work for me. I'm an asshole.
No.
So obviously you got to fucking wrap, decal, fucking name, put your name, decals. What is it, like vinyl lettering, and at bare minimum, throw some lettering on there. Say what you do, so that
Even if you want to be able to take it off, get a magnet made or something. Just
Yeah.
something, right? Just something.
right. Like if you're an asshole driver and you want to flip people off and drive fast, magnet. You put it on. You pull up to the house. Magnet goes on. Neighbors see what you do, what they're doing.
Yep.
When you leave the house, magnet comes off.
Do whatever you want.
What about cardboard and duct tape?
Ooh.
Well, I like
You
to. I like to carry around multiple magnets, so I can be whatever I want to be.
Don't be
Chuck
chucking
in
the
the
truck.
Watching this,
Don't be
he's
chucking
taking
it. Chuck, just stop. One thing, learn it well, move on.
Okay, side note. Jack of all trades is the master of none. But then so that was like, somebody tried to say that the original thing was,
But a master of one isn't as good of I don't remember.
What
a
is-
master of some or
what does
something.
it fucking say? What did they say? I think it's all bullshit. Like, I see these guys out there, it's like their truck's got HVAC, plumbing, drywall, electrical.
Yeah, so
What is it?
I don't want to be mediocre
audio
at
visual.
17 things.
Audio visual. What else can it be? Roofing, carpentry, drywall repair. Like all of these things on one truck. You know that fucking guy driving that truck is one or two. Period. And that's how it is. Like they know the littlest fucking amount of anything else. Like, right? So it's just, but they're the one-stop shop.
You want to be the top 20% of your trade. So just continue to educate yourself on one thing. Become the best at that thing.
Although, I mean, you can be a business and have multiple trades. I mean, no, I'm not saying that well, electric and solar is the same license, but the people out there don't know it because they're fucking inundated with, hey, solar.
If we add plumbing, we're going to get some plumbers.
Yeah, no,
That's-
you're not
yeah,
getting, it's
yeah.
not going to be me coming out.
No, absolutely.
I mean, I know a thing or two about plumbing.
I can tile, drywall, landscaping.
What were we talking about? I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about. Oh, let's go back to it. So, so we bought a box truck. So fucking, so COVID, everybody knows COVID's happening. There's no parts. So if we bought a couple trailers, our solar guys are out, and we got diesel trucks, diesel crew cabs with trailers behind them, and we went to go buy a couple more trailers, and they're 9 to 12 months out.
Yep.
And new truck is 7 months out, and the prices are through the roof. So we were like, okay, well, what else can we do? We got to get another crew on the road. We're trying to accomplish some goals that we have. What about a box truck and a liftgate? Well, okay, so we're like throwing ideas. Well, we went out and looked at a box truck. Got a box truck and a liftgate. We got one. We found one. It was ready. No, actually, we had to wait. It was only
We still had to wait.
It was only like 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months.
So it was 2 months wait for a box truck, or almost a year for a fucking truck and trailer. So we're like, all right, let's do it. And it was like 30 grand less.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, let's do it. Like, this is gonna be awesome. So we bought one, and then we branded it up, and it's a fucking huge, nice looking billboard.
Big billboard, yeah.
And the guys hate it. The guys didn't like it.
Not comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, it's like they were like, oh, it's weird to drive like this. Like
it's
so
weird to
everybody
drive.
has-
It's harder to get in and out of. Like,
Right.
it's
Everybody
just-
has habits. So now they got the lower lift gate, up the lift gate every time they want to do something.
Right.
That's fine. We're working through those issues. Obviously, humans are habit forming. So when we change anything, it takes some adjustment, it takes some getting used to. Like, and this van, I'm not going to say who it was, but like our tech and the van, right? So it's humbling, right? So there's just different. But we park it out at the shop, and then somebody would come by and cut the catalytic converters off. So now I've got a $60,000 paperweight.
Yep. It's happened twice in 1 month.
Yeah.
Nuts.
So we get it repaired, and then we bring it back, and the guys use it, and then a month later, a couple weeks later, they took one the first time,
yep.
and then they took both of them the second time, and we got them on video, and the police can't do anything about it. I don't know what's going on with that. Long story short, but I don't have a place to lock it up. Like, where do you so we can either build a rack underneath it, but I'm just it's so frustrating.
We've definitely been trying to figure that out in our business as far as what we're going to do with our fleets around the office.
Well,
especially that box truck.
We have a model. So in our business, we created a model for what we're going to do. So now it's like the truck and the trailer for the solar crews, and it's a service body truck for our electricians running calls, right? So like that, those are the things that we had standard until COVID came and the shortage. We had to kind of think outside it. But you know what? It's been such a hassle. I called the dealer. I'm like, hey, you want this truck back? Yes. And he goes. Yep, let me call you back. So a couple days later, he called me back. He goes, well, you bought it for this amount, let's 60 grand. You bought it for 60 grand. We want to give you 60 grand.
Yeah.
I'm like, I used it for a year. Or not. We didn't even have it a year.
Well, no,
but we had 12,000 miles on it, and we're getting the same fucking money. Like that's how much the market's moved up. So we're gonna get out of that truck and wipe our hands of it. What kind of trucks are you guys using? I'd love to know how you protect your catalytic converters. Not all of us can park in a yard. Like we don't have a yard at our office. We're looking for an office with a yard, but like not all of our trucks. We got too many trucks to fit in a warehouse, and we don't have a yard. Some of the guys take their trucks home. Some of them don't. Depends on the crews.
Yep.
Love to put in the comments. What are you guys using? What do you like? How do you protect yourselves from fucking assholes? Somebody had mentioned like, hey, what if we put metal around the catalytic converter with the dye, the ink bombs, so that when or around the pipes around it, so when they go to cut the pipe, it cuts that ink bomb on them. Or one of the other guys is like, just put fucking voltage on it. Just put voltage on it and let the cops sort it out. Like I don't know what happened. Like. Oh man, like it's so frustrating knowing that there are so many jobs out there and these guys are just out fucking stealing for this little finite resource that's inside these catalytic converters. Yeah. Anyways, let us know what you're doing.